Wow, it appears from Holy Scripture, from the Torah, from the Pentateuch, from the law and the prophets, and the rest of the holy writings, written even by the apostles of Christ, the Apostle Paul, St. Peter, St. James, and the disciples of Mark, Matthew, Luke, John, and their scribes who wrote it down for them. They seem to be pointing to the constant theme and principle of the 6 and 7. 6 weeks, 6 years, 6 months, 6 days, 6 hours, and 7. Those two numbers are spiritual, and they're literal. They have a dual meaning. They have a practical application and they have a spiritual application. And 6 days, the seventh day being the Sabbath, 6,000 years, 7,000, 70, 69 weeks, 70th week, spoken of Daniel. There's a pattern there. And it seems to be pretty consistent because and they're using it as a literal chronology, and not just typology and metaphor, and not just spiritualizing the text, but it also is literal, a chronology. 40 years in the wilderness was really 40 years, but even the number 40 itself has a spiritual equivalent. Kind of like a shadow effect, a shadow application, and kind of a dual existence, a double activity. But I was looking at the Jewish calendar, and the Jews hold to the idea that original creation of the heavens and the earth happened about almost 6,000 years ago. They say 5,700 and something years since the creation of Adam and Eve, Book of Genesis, as recorded by Moses. And so I was just reading that if you turn this into a typology, in Exodus 21 about this, these slaves, that in the seventh year they were to be free, that they could be slaves for 6,000 or 6 years, but on the seventh year they could be set free, released. And you find that the seventh day is a day of rest for the Israelites. That 6 days they are to work, and the seventh day they're to be on the Sabbath. So you see this 7 and 6 principle, and I'm just wondering if it holds true to the greater extent. 6,000 years of being under the curse of the original sin. That the curse that God placed on the earth because of man's rebellion, him listening to Lucifer, as typified by the snake, the serpent. There was a curse placed on the earth, and the curse, according to the prophecies of the Bible, won't be lifted, won't be removed until the final day when Christ returns to the earth, when the Jewish Messiah returns to the earth to redo to undo that curse that was placed on man early in the Garden of Eden, and that so I'm just wondering if we're only approaching the 6,000 year according to the Jewish calendar. Does that mean that we have 1,000 more years to go, literal years, before Christ returns to the earth? I'm not setting dates. I know that's taboo in the Christian community, but I'm just wondering if there's any truth to that.